personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so the next prospect in our prospect review video series is going to be that man right there. You know, we're going to stay in the super bantamweight division. We're going to stay in the lower weight classes because this guy, it's funny how I discovered this guy in the first place, right? Because I was sitting here one day, I was editing some videos, and I was listening to the Robert Garcia podcast. Shout out to Robert Garcia and the podcast, Peter Garcia, and the lovely and equally talented Christina Ramirez, who does a great job hosting the podcast and is doing great work herself as an up-and-coming, channel / content creator in the boxing game, right? Big fans of the Robert Garcia podcast. I normally watch all their episodes, right? So I was listening to the fact that this guy right here, this gentleman right here, Cardenas, he had a fight on the recent Bam Rodriguez-Sonny Edwards card, and the way Robert Garcia spoke about him, he spoke so highly of him, I had to make it an effort to check him out because Robert Garcia is talking highly about him. That means he must be doing something in the gym or in his fights for him to talk like that. So that's him, 12-0-1, 8 KOs. Interesting fighter because like I mentioned earlier, he's trained by Robert Garcia. And he's gotten, obviously, one thing about training with Robert Garcia, to last in that gym, because that gym, I've never been there. It's one of the gyms I want to go to. It's on my bucket list of gyms I want to go to before the end of this year is done with. But one thing I know about that gym from hearing people, because I have friends that have sparred there. There's been fighters from South Florida like Aaron Aponte that have sparred there. And I know other fighters in Vegas that have gone there for sparring. So the one thing I always hear about the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy is the sparring there is upper echelon. It's creme de la creme. It's top notch, and it's one of those gyms where if you're not the goods, you're not gonna last. You're gonna get dogged the hell out. And so for him to even have made it this far and be on the radar and to be spoken of by Robert Garcia like that, it says a lot. As far as fighters he's sparred and gotten in that work with, he sparred the likes of, obviously one of the best pound fighters in the world right now, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, sparred with him. Also sparred with his brother in the now retired but former world champion Joshua Franco. So you have that going for him. He's coming to you guys live and direct from, and I might be saying this wrong, but he's coming to you guys live and direct from you know what? I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that. He's coming to you guys live and direct from Michoacan, Mexico. And we know that Mexican fighters, they have a long history in the sport. When he was fighting his last fight on the BAM card, when he got the knockout, he fought Carlos Mojica, and Carlos Mojica is a good opponent because Mojica is a fighter that, in his last fight, he fought another fighter that was on the same card that scored an upset victory in Jericho O'Quinn. Mojica fought Jericho O'Quinn and took him the distance, okay? Cardenas did not waste that kind of time with Mojica. He did not, play with his food, so to speak. He packed him up and shipped him out. 4 rounds, got him up out of there, and he did it in a very intelligent fashion. I like his style, man. The commentators were comparing him a lot to, his style to Juan Manuel Marquez. His style, I would say he's very defensively responsible. I can definitely tell he has a high boxing IQ just by the way he reacts to punches and how he's always thinking. But he seemed to have good timing more than anything, which is a staple, a trait that Marquez is known for because he was a great counterpuncher. To be a great counterpuncher, you got to have great timing, the ability to anticipate things. And when I saw him in there, I saw a fighter that was really good about anticipating and about, understanding what the next best move was in the ring. So I like that about him. He's someone that I could tell definitely loves this sport and boxing is his life because I watched the interview with him and Christina Ramirez. I watched the interview and he stated in the interview that one of the things that he wants to do after boxing is become a coach. And he has a gym in his part of Mexico where he trains fighters, and so he loves boxing, and he said it's one of his goals one day, not just to be one of the best fighters of all time and be a world champion, all that good stuff, but he also wants to be one of the best coaches in the sport one day. So he's got all that sorted out. And right now, as it stands, he's the number 37th ranked fighter in the super bantamweight division on BoxRec, because right now, I'm using the BoxRec rankings only because of the fact that, he's not ranked in any of the top 15 sanctioning bodies. So whenever a fighter is not ranked in the top 15 of any sanctioning body, I use the BoxRec rankings to see kind of like, who are some fighters that, he might be able to fight, in his next, 1 to 2 fights. And there's really some interesting names around him that I would like to share with you guys. I mean, just 2 spots above him at 35 is Azat Hovhannisyan, who just put on one of the best fights in recent memory with Luis Neri. I would like to see Cardenas get that step-up fight, because I feel like if he could win that fight, that kind of win's going to put him right in the fold for title contention, top 15 ranking or top 20 ranking at least, something like that. So that's a good fight there. Just below him at 39, 2 spots down, is Lee McGregor, who I know did suffer his first pro loss. Yeah, he suffered his first pro loss recently and has a draw on the record. So that'd be a good little Mexico versus UK crossroads fight against, a once touted guy, and McGregor for him. If you go up to 26, you got Japanese fighter Yoshi Takai, who's ranked, and Yoshi Takai recently stopped a guy on the undercard of Inoue Tapales, and he's ranked in one of the organizations. So that'd be a good Mexico versus Japan fight. You got Kevin Gonzalez at 24, who just fought Mirza Akmadaliev. I know he's looking for a big win. So there's fights out there for him. I could go on and on and on, but he's right there. He's at that stage of his career where now, he's done enough. He's definitely made a name for himself, and he survived the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. So Arturo Cardenas is someone that I think is going to be a factor in the super bantamweight division. I wouldn't expect Inoue to stay at 122 much longer. After this year, he's going to fight Neri, and then maybe like a Sam Goodman or Mirza Akmadaliev. And then after that, them belts are going to fragment. So what I'll say is this: by the time Inoue drops them belts, I fully expect that gentleman right there, Arturo Cardenas, to be ranked in at least one of the 4 sanctioning bodies and be a lot more on people's radar, because he's got a high-profile trainer and a high-profile gym, and he's been fighting on some high-profile undercards. And I like what I saw from him. I think a lot of times Mexican fighters get all this stereotypes thrown at them for being the kind of fighters that don't have IQ and just come forward and have no defense, and that's not what a real Mexican fighter is to me. A real Mexican fighter is someone that can intelligently put pressure on you, maintain defensive responsibility, and have competent defense. And to me, he definitely fits that bill. And for those reasons, that's why I see him being a factor in the super bantamweight division, not just this year, but in the years to come. So remember that name, Arturo Cardenas from Robert Garcia Boxing Academy, super bantamweight prospect, 12-0-1, 8 KOs. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about him? If you guys got anything you want to add in the comments, feel free to do that down below. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.